Hi, hello everyone, and welcome to the grand finale of the Mic Up live session. Right, sorry about that. Yeah man, welcome one and all. Listen, you see tonight I go wicked because tonight is a grand finale, so you know we have to go on a bang, right? Now tonight's live Mic Up session is entitled Youth Volunteerism, and on that note, let me just tag it here. Right. Let me just pin it. Right. Wonderful. And tonight we have a very special guest. Now, before we even get to the guest, we have two sponsors that have made tonight possible. First things first, we have a big up Meta for Better. They are one of the sponsors, and they're also giving away a motivational shirt. Let me give you some info about Meta for Better. So you can find them on Instagram at Meta for Better. Their tagline is "Be as bold as your shirt," and that's one of the things we'll be giving away tonight. One sec. Let me just accept our guest. Our other sponsor is Gas Smart Solutions, right? Gas Smart Solutions is a business that sells cooking gas, and tonight they are giving away $1,000 credit. Now later on, we'll give you more information about them. But before we even move on, just want to remind you, tell a friend to tell a friend. Tonight is the last Mic Up Live session, and we're going to make it exceptional. All right? So tonight, as I said before, is entitled Youth Volunteerism. Right. Let me see if I can get here on. Right. In the meantime, until our guest joins, let me just tell you a little bit about the We Touch One Heart Foundation. Right. So the We Touch One Heart Foundation is a non-profit organization that is based in Portland. But as you can see, although they're based in Portland, they are not limited to their immediate surroundings. They try to get to as many people as possible, especially the youth. So we really want to thank them for putting on such an amazing forum like this, where youth like yourselves and myself can join and learn about the various topics that we have discussed in the past week. Now, without further ado, let me try get our guest to join. Guest, if you can hear me, please join. Yeah, all right. In the meantime, we're not going to let anything stop it. How is everybody doing tonight? Listen, we want some more people come. So if you're excited about tonight, just you see in the bottom right corner, just press up your heart them. Just hold on your heart them. Just hold it down. Because, listen, just practice for now. Because tonight I go wicked. Just hold on your heart them and just practice how we are going to react throughout the life. That's how we are going to deal with it, right? Yeah, man. Comment in the chat how you're feeling. How have you enjoyed the Mic Up Live session so far? What have you learned? What was your favorite? All right, don't tell me what your favorite was. Just tell me maybe a lesson from your favorite. Let me just get an idea of you know what you have learned so far, because it's the past Mic Up Live sessions, man, I can't stress enough how good they are. And if you want to watch them, please head on over to the YouTube page, same name as the Instagram page, We Touch One Heart Foundation, and you can just watch a recap of those. All right, seems like our guest is about to join. Wonderful stuff. Uncle T, how are you feeling?
One of my favorite persons in the entire world. How are you?
I am alright, you know. I'm even better now that you have joined.
Lovely, lovely. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, man. I know you, but the persons on the live might not know you as well. So let me just introduce you. I know you're you really like the introduction, but just listen, just listen. All right. So for the persons who don't know Tia, right? Since the topic is youth volunteerism, Tia is one that is very familiar with this role, all right? Both at a community and a national level, because Tia is actually from Paradise Norwood in Mobi. That's correct, right?
My mobile peeps, you logged in.
Right,
That's right.
right. No, she has many community-based projects and activities which she really has done with the hopes of um, mobilizing and motivating youth to maximize their God-given abilities and talents. Now, she's not only you know beauty, but she has brains behind the beauty. She is a UTech graduate. She has a bachelor in pharmacy, and while studying, she actually held a lot of leadership roles. She was the executive secretary and the president for the UTech Students Union. She was the UNESCO Jamaica ambassador, as well as she was a youth member of parliament for Northwest St. James. She was also an executive, I'm saying was, I'm not sure if you still are, on the Norwood Youth Club. All right. Her excellence knows no bounds as she has just been re-elected vice president of G2K. Yeah, man. Big news, that's enough. Right? Finally, she lives by the mantra there is no passion to be found in playing small, in settling for a life that is less than one you are capable of living, by Nelson Mandela. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Tia Ferguson.
I don't know where to start. I mean, you have said it all. I think I can leave now, Romario. And I see a lot of people that I know, familiar persons online. So I just want to welcome you guys here tonight. And it's good. It's good to always be in the presence of people that I love, people that are aspiring to be great, and they are progressive. I mean, every single person here that I can identify are progressive young people, and that is very important. Romario, our host, have so much talent, have given so much of his time and service. So youth volunteerism is something that I actually think he should be the guest speaker tonight, because he has given so much. I see Andrew, I see the whole 9 yard here. I see Claudine, big up everybody. My hometown, I see people from Mobe shouting me out. Big up Julie, I love you. And everybody here are youths. So it means, therefore, that we want what is best for our youths right across the nation. And so I'm happy to be here.
Right. And you certainly have started the night just as we would have wanted to start. Trust me. Yeah, man. And everybody can be guest speaker. Sometimes we have to host it. Just so I hear not tonight. No rest.
Oh.
But I know on the topic of youth volunteerism though. So we're just gonna move right into it.
No problem.
So persons normally once they hear volunteerism, they just think about charity alone. Not that there is anything wrong with that.
Right.
But volunteerism also includes stuff that aren't so tangible, like your time, through your leadership roles. And everywhere I go, I try to impress upon people that
Right.
you can volunteer through leadership, and you can volunteer through initiatives in your community. It doesn't necessarily have to be with you buying stuff and giving back.
Right.
Right? But that's what it means to me. But so your first question is, what does volunteerism mean to you?
You have basically said it all. For me personally, volunteerism is a sacrifice. I know that is not the definition you want to hear tonight. But I'm just going to be real, and I'm going to be very open.
Right.
Right. So volunteerism, we can package it nicely and say, well, it's giving of your time. It's also a sacrifice. And for me, I would have made many sacrifices. I hope the noise is not too much for you guys. There are vehicles traversing. But regardless, for me, it's a matter of sacrificing, whether I want to be my time, my energy, finances, whatever it is, my services, even my own career. Because some people tend to think that it's best to always give up service in areas that you are not yet established. You can still, right, you can still volunteer in an area, in a field in which you are seasoned or you are well known. It's okay to volunteer. And as we progress into the conversation this evening, I want my young people here to know that because volunteerism is a sacrifice, you cannot look at it for getting any form of monetary gain. Because that I don't want to jump into it, because I know that question is coming somewhere down the line.
Listen, we have 1 hour. Say anything you want, say.
Right. So people always say, I'm not volunteering because what am I getting from it? What can you give?
Right.
What can you give? And the Bible, I'm a strong believer in the Bible. It has always been my guide, and it will tell you that give more than how you can receive. Trust me, I don't know about you, but I've always been getting more than even that I can ever give, whether I wanted it or not, because life have a way, and I believe in the universe as well. It has a way of just giving you way more than what you really deserve. So right, for me, it's just a matter of sacrificing my time and my energy, because I could be doing other things. I could be doing a lot of the things that young people find enticing nowadays, but I decide to give off my time in how I feel best it is and how meaningful I think it can be.
You said everything that I would want to be said in a forum like this, because a lot of persons think that this youth volunteerism thing is just kind of a tokenism thing where you just do it for a picture or a video, but it's really not that. But the person's actually on the ground like you and I. We know that is really it's much more. Trust me, it is hard, and there are persons out there that not necessarily need this stuff, but they actually need guidance and they need persons to come into the community to speak to them and anything. Because at the end of the day, that all comes under youth volunteers.
Right.
And so that leads me to my next question: How did you get started in volunteerism?
Well. How I got involved? How I got started in politics?
In volunteerism.
Because I was like, whoa, where are we going?
Volunteerism.
Actually, persons who are on the platform, and if they're still here, I see my little sister here. Hi, Atrika. She graduated today, so I have to take this opportunity to congratulate her. She graduated from the COMC in Mobe, and all my Mobe people that are here, they'll tell you. Right. But I started actually in church. Right. My volunteerism started in church, where quite the opposite of a lot of people. I, from a very tender age, I had discipline in Pathfinderism, meeting the Pathfinder early. As painful as it was to wake up early in the mornings, I was always present. I was the head cook and the bottle washer, if necessary. I did what needed to be done. And so most of my leadership qualities, I can tell you, I had acquired it in church.
Right.
In church, I had people that would spot my talent years before now and said, I'm going to put you in a position to see how you would excel and grow. And what I've learned in that space is that you will never, and this is just a life lesson for me in general, you will never be ready for a space that you should be filled. For example, say you're now a director in a company, and I'm just speaking it into being because I know a lot of us are young people. But then if you're supposed to move up to a CEO, you might say, well, I'm too young, or I don't have this necessary, I don't have these skills, or you know, people going to say it's because no. If you are already prepared for that space, it means that you have already outgrown that space. And as young people, we don't get that enough. We want to always be prepared. Sometimes the spaces that we are going to occupy we will have to grow in that space. And that's not a conversation that we spread a lot. But as it relates for youth volunteerism, I started in the church, and I grew in the church from Pathfinder to youth ministry. I went as far as the St. James Federation in church. And that was where I said, I need to probably take on this leadership thing. I was also here and there, you know, class monitor, because for me, I could tell the class when to laugh versus when not to laugh. I know I always had that influence, and a teacher of mine said, you know what? You need to use that influence positively. So it really started there, but my true boss, quote unquote, would have been in church. Right.
Right. And funny enough, you know, a lot of these superstars these days started in church. So you're like the Beyonce knows of youth volunteerism, you know?
Oh, man, right.
I understand what you're saying though, because if you never put yourself in that space where you volunteer, you sacrifice your time, you offer your time without compensation, then you wouldn't, or other persons wouldn't have seen that you have something more than that, or something to offer.
And let me just tell you what type of sacrifice I had to make. No, my church that I grew up in had programs every day of the week. So Sabbath is a whole day thing. On Sunday we have Sunday night meeting, but before Sunday night meeting we had choir practice. Mondays choir practice, Tuesdays choir practice, Wednesday night meeting. So if you follow the church, you was there like every single day, but I was committed. So if she did there every day, clearly she have to have some interest in this. Let me groom her. And this is the point that I want people to understand. Show up, even when they don't want to. Show up. Show up. Physically, mentally, and spiritually. Show up all the time. Very important.
Now, more people just type show up in the chat. Yeah, man. Just type show up on your chat and just press up your heart.
Yeah, man. When we say how involved, and I want person to be typing in the chat and chatting with me, because we're not here for a boring session.
That is a message. Show up.
Right.
Why? That's why you alone have to go up on your something, man. Because imagine somebody else have to go talk after you, you know.
I cannot.
Yo, that was a good message, man. I tell you, man. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you want more of this, just remember to follow the Instagram page and head on over to the YouTube page afterwards, where you see a recap of this video. And when you go over there, just remember to subscribe as well. You get me? Just go over there and just watch it. Just go over there and just watch the video until. Subscribe. Show up over there and subscribe. Alright?
And take up space. Somebody says show up and take up space. Right.
Show up, take up space. Oh gosh, man. Let me get it, man.
I love it.
Man, tell you what a night so far, eh?
I love it.
Man, I don't even know what to ask next, because I have questions that aren't even here now. But I try to contain myself.
Go ahead.
All right. So, I realized I spoke about a lot of things, especially being in church and how almost every day there was something. How do you manage that? How do you manage volunteerism and your, I don't even want to call it social life, because that can be a social life. But for persons who want to do both, how do you manage that?
What I'm going to tell my young people is that you have to be human. So in all things, you have to find a balance. For me, I prioritize the things in my life that I find to be important. So the things that I volunteer to, and you have to have a good schedule that you're going to stick to. In order for you to find that balance and practice the balance, you have to be consistent. So I'll be leaving some stuff with you. The first thing, we have to show up and take up space. And then while you're showing up, you have to be consistent, because it makes no sense you start a journey and stop. For more than one reason, you are shortchanging yourself, but more importantly, you're shortchanging other people that would have been looking to you to be their motivator. Other people. Do we know that there are persons whose future is aligned with ours? And in order for them to be of good purpose in this life, you must accomplish your mission. No, you can't shortchange people like that. So while we're showing up and we're taking space, we have to be consistent. So you can't start the journey and stop. And in doing that, it means that you have to find a balance, because life has its ups and its downs. So what I do, there are days when I just lock my phone up, Romario. I have 800 and odd messages on WhatsApp, but there are days when I just don't answer nobody. I don't answer nobody, and that is fine. That is perfectly fine, because if for me to do that is holding my peace, then I'm going to do it. It's very important. What I do in finding that balance is I'm intentional too. So I have a set of initiatives and goals that I need to get done. I'm going to do them. It cannot be that I don't feel to, or I don't want to do it today or this week. I have to get it done. Romario knows I'm very tired. I've been to work today. I don't get any time for myself. But I had made a commitment to be speaking to the young people here tonight. And so I have to follow through regardless of all that is happening. No matter how tired I am, I'm going to show up, take up space, and be consistently doing interviews regardless of how busy I am. And it's a matter, after I leave here now, what I will be doing is putting away all of this presentation and taking up something else. So I have a strict schedule that I have to stick to. If I'm going to enjoy myself, I enjoy myself, because we're still young people. And it's while you are progressing and while you are growing in your space, please, my young people, please enjoy it. I wish somebody told me that years ago. I wish somebody told me that I still need to be a youth, because I have a lot of youthful exuberance in me. And it is okay. If partying is your thing, go ahead and party. If going to church is your thing, go ahead and praise the Lord. If going to the movies, whatever it is, find time for a social life, because once you're quaint, your 20s gone by, you don't know what happened to it. So it's a matter for me, it's a matter of finding my balance and being consistent with it. I cannot decide to say, I know I have a schedule, so I can't say, well, I have a presentation tomorrow and I'm not going to bother prepare for it, or I'm not going to do it if it's, furthermore, especially if it's a topic that I'm not so comfortable with, I cannot say I'm not going to be prepared for it. No, I have to be consistent. So it's a matter of my consistency and being intentional. You have to be intentional. You have to be intentional.
Right. So we have to show up and take up space. We have to be intentional. And what was the other one?
Consistent. Right.
Hey, man. Trust me. Hey. No, man. I don't think we not the TI enough justice enough. Me not see comments them. Me not see enough hearts. Me not feel. No, me not feel.
I see them going up, man.
Let me see what, man. No, man. Them not, man. That's not enough, man. That's not enough. Listen, this question now, this is for the persons who are watching now, and the persons who them are going to tell. How, or what do you think? First of all, how can young people like myself, who don't have, or for persons who don't have youth organizations, are not aligned with any political parties and so, how can they get involved in youth organizations, or even not even youth organizations only? How can they get involved in volunteering?
Things and times are changing, and I'm happy you asked me that question. COVID has been a blessing and a curse for many of us. And I think as Generation Z, as millennials, wherever you fall, it is important for us to start looking outside of the box.
Right.
Now, instead of waiting for people to acknowledge us, as young people, we don't have to do that anymore. You can start your own podcast. I know it's untraditional.
Love that.
You start your own YouTube channel. You start whatever you need to do. What I found, and what's going to let you in on a little secret, Find something that is unique to you. I realize that I don't want anybody here to steal it. I realize I used to just wake up in the mornings and I say, good morning to my kings and queens. And it came a period in time where I wasn't posting it, and people say, hello, we're not kings and queens anymore. Do the little right. Do the little things. Do the little things that will represent you and be consistent with it. So if you're passionate about, say for example, gender inequality, you get up every week and be consistent and say, every week I'm going to put out a content. I don't want to be a YouTube personality, but what I'm going to do is in my little spaces, I'm going to make a video and I'm going to send it to everybody that I have in my contacts. And I'm going, not only that, I'm going to post it. One, you also have you're also in a space where you can also promote the video. So instead of having to walk into an organization and ask them, can I volunteer? They tell you no. Guess what? We're charting our own course. So I'm interested in a particular sector, particular area, particular conversation or topic. You go right ahead and you lead out in that. Now, if you're not able to do that, you have persons randomly, as I said, take up space. We have to be enough. So we're taking up space, and I find who I want to find. I know Tia is in the pharmaceutical aspects of things, and so I'm going to message her and I'm going to say, hey Tia, how can I get involved? I'm interested in medicine, I'm interested in pharmacy, how can I get involved? And in that, I can now have a connection. I'm now forming a bond and network. So we have to position ourselves. So one thing, we're no longer waiting on people to acknowledge us. But two, we also have to go out there and put ourselves in a position. So what we're going to do, as I said before, you write your emails, you write letter, you take up your phone. Yeah. Everybody have a connection and everybody is connected to somebody. Everybody knows somebody that you want to know. Full stop.
Right.
And we in the space of technology and everybody's always on their phone, instead of always being on Pink Wall and being on Daydream. Mind you, nothing is wrong with those sites, because they're very informative. I mean, sometimes they keep me up to date when I get the chance to go on social media. But what I'm saying is, use social media for your own benefit. You send somebody a message, you send a minister a message, you send this organization, hi, my name is so and so, I have this and such expertise and skills, and I would love to give up my talents here. So those are the two main areas. One, you have to insert yourself into spaces, and two, you have to create a space for yourself. So you don't have to say, well, I'm not politically aligned. That is perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine. And you have people who don't want to be associated with politics, but they want to serve. And we welcome them. Political organizations are going to welcome you, because there's a space for everybody, and not everybody can go into representation or politics, and not everybody want to. Some people really want to work from behind the scenes, and that is fine. But what you need to do is to insert yourself into spaces, one, and you have to create a space for yourself.
Right. I this reminded me of one of the previous interviews where the guest said that she actually wanted to go on, what was it again? Talk Up Youth, I think. Yeah, it was the interview with Chantal. And she said that she didn't stop message on the Talk Up Youth page. She watched all of them and she enough up herself until them contacted her. Listen, man. And she went on it just to show that she wanted, and she put herself in the space. She occupied, she was present, and she was intentional with what she did.
Right.
And point that you made about even reaching out to some of these persons, you'd be surprised to know how much some of these politicians and CEOs and so use their social media.
Right.
Because they are also intentional about it.
Right.
So if they see someone else on that same level with them, or being intentional, or saying that this person reaching out to me must mean that this person means business. Let me read what this person has to say. Trust me.
Right.
It really does wonders. So I hope you guys are listening. Listen, after this, we have no excuse. We should be seeing the youth on this live in more spaces, volunteering, whether it is on the front page or behind the scenes.
And before we come off this point, I just want our youth to get out of the frame mind of people handing things to us.
Right.
Right. So, nobody is lucky. I feel some people are more fortunate than others, but they would have to put the work in. I find that a lot of the people that get by in life are those that really put the work in. It's just a minority, and be intentional about wherever you want to go, whatever area you want to serve in. If you need to go there and say, excuse me, can I speak to the manager? If the manager is in a meeting, you come back tomorrow. Then you go back tomorrow.
Simple.
And you go back the other day. So you
Yeah.
have to be intentional about the things that you really want out of this life. I think the universe presents itself for people who really wants it. Simple.
Yeah, man. Right. I'm glad you touched on that point about not everyone. You said some persons are lucky, and I saw a definition for luck the other day that says luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So some of these persons that you think are lucky to be on the table, to even have a seat at a table.
Right.
I know some persons even look at you, Tia, and say, boy, she is lucky to be vice president at G2K. But because I know, not even all, just even some, there's a fraction of the backstory. I know that luck for you is actually the opportunity that presented itself. You were prepared for that opportunity.
Hard work.
Yeah, man, definitely. You can't go on it. You can't go on any motivational page on Instagram or YouTube. All of them are going to say hard work. That's the secret. For those who want the recipe, hard work. That's it. Can't go wrong. All right. Before I move on, just a reminder of our sponsors. We are giving away stuff tonight. I hope you're listening because we're going to be asking questions based on our discussion. Remember, one of the sponsors is Meta for Better. You can follow their Instagram page at Meta for Better. And you can also follow Gas Smart Solutions. All right. Now, winding down here. Winding down. And I'm glad we're in the direction that we're going. We're heading to more national involvement now. Because that's what we start talking about. So the question I have for you is, how can volunteerism help with nation building? I know that this is in your avenue now.
Oh, well.
Yep. We
So
can get a
for
good time.
me-
We can get a good time.
No, man. For me, it's really finding that niche and finding that thing that works for you. Now, I believe it as young people, we have to be giving back to our society, because I have come to the realization the other day that government in particular, and when we vote or when we contribute to our nation, it is not for the now, actually.
Right.
It is for years to come and our children's children.
And I think
And
we're
so-
seeing it now as well.
Right. So for me in particular, who would have done a lot of work back home in my community in Norwood, what I find, and I have a foundation which is geared towards at-risk youth. So I mainly take on state care children as well as inner city youth. Because the truth be told, I have a special connection with these people, not because of where I grew up per se, because there are areas in Norwood that they are not privy to, or they're not exposed per se. But I have been exposed to people who the life of crime and violence is like second nature. It's almost enticing.
Right.
And so if I can be a change, if I can be an influence of change in those spaces, then I inject myself into it. Every opportunity that I take. So sometimes we're looking at it at going into being a youth parliamentarian and putting policies together. That is perfect. And we want that from our young people because we're the brightest and the youngest minds in Jamaica. But also, this morning on my way to work, I stopped by the stoplight at Devon House. And before I handed the guy the money, because they all flocked me, and I said, what you want to become in life? Because he was a young one. And I said, what you want to become in life? And he said, miss, I don't want to nothing, me all right to do me there. Make a little food and me eat. And I'm like, no. And I pull over and I said, come over there, sir. Mind you, I was late to work. And I pull over and I said, come over here, sir. I'm going to give you $5 for you talk to me for a second. And I said to him, what you mean you don't want to know? Him said when him up on the road, him can make a money for him to feed himself for today. And he has another little brother. And he gave me his whole life story. And I had to take some time out of my morning to actually give him some word of wisdom. And I took his number, and so I put him onto my program. Those are the things that a lot of people don't consider as building the nation. Because here what, if I can change his mindset, then it means therefore that I would have already transformed somebody to also be another nation builder. He can now transform the space that he's in. He can also change your mindset. Listen, there's life out there to live in. There are persons that have a lot of money, it's just us that are unfortunate that weren't privileged to be born with a gold spoon in our mouth. But the truth is, there's good life out there to live. And as long as we allow persons to see that it is not blocked off from any of us, as long as we work hard enough, we position ourselves. Position is important, and I'm not going to take away from the fact that some people do have life a little bit harder. But what I do believe is with hard work, people will have to identify those talents that you have. They will have no other option but to identify. And some people, I believe that God sent destiny helpers just when you need them. And so once we position ourselves, we will get to where we ought to get to. We have so much success stories right across the island. And so we have to begin as a nation to evaluate ourselves and what is success? What is success to me? Success is a lot of money. What is success? Is success being able to always be doing programs such as these? What is success? And success for me should not be the same success for you. So you should not measure what I'm doing to say, well, this is success. Because you may just very well have another area which you need to excel in, that you will bring people into that area so they can develop themselves. And so when we look at youth volunteerism leading into a national development program, we also have to think of the every little things that we do on a daily basis. Being good citizens, as paying our taxes, not doing the shortcuts, no matter how much links you have, mindset is important. And so I believe in the ripple effect. So you drop a stone and you say, the ripples in the water. So in my spaces, I try to transform my spaces in how we think. Mainly how youth volunteerism can lead to on a national level now. As Raro here, who is a former youth, you are a former youth parliamentarian. Now, what Rara would have done in his different spaces, he would have worked himself up from a student level leadership, and then he would have applied to serve at a national level. And that is really where we want our youths too, because it means that you're on the ground. You would have gone back into your community and you would have seen the issues firsthand and say, hey, this is what I want to propose to the now government or to governments to come. This is my solution. This is the solution I think can be presented. And so I'm going to insert myself in a space that I can be given the platform to speak to the persons who need to listen. So that is one of the things. And it might never always reach there, Ramari, as I said before. You can form your own foundations. I know I see a couple persons here who had formed their own foundations after they would have left the National Youth Council of Jamaica or the Youth Parliamentarian Program. They had went ahead and they say, I'm not going to stop here. I'm going to form my own youth group and I want to be touching the ground with people. You can start that. You may not able to start even your own foundation, but what you can do is get one or two persons who are willing to say, hey, let us do this every third Sunday. Let us do this every month, every quarter. And you find that thing within your community. Because I believe if we want greater impact, we have to start from the community level. Right. So as it relates, it may not always be crime. It may not always be youth disattachment. It can also be a community wanting a better disposal site. And so you lobby for it. You go in and you speak to the different councillors and the MPs and you do what you need to do as a youth representative for your young people in your constituency. So this is where we really start from a community level, and then it navigates into at a national level?
Yeah, man, boy, that answer is just. The good thing is, this will be recorded and it'll be placed over the YouTube page. So anything you miss, just remember, We Touch One Heart Foundation on YouTube. And you touched so many points. I can't even go back to all of them. But in summary, I just want to reiterate the fact that you don't necessarily have to have a formal seat at a table to be involved in nation building. All right, you don't even have to even form your own youth organization. Every one of us comes from a community, every one of us comes from a classroom, a school, a household where we can start there. I
Right.
was reading this book called Atomic Habits, right? And it was just talking about how to build and break habits. And one of the things to build good habits is it has to be realistic, right? If you know you don't have the time on your hands to form a youth organization or to get involved with youth parliament or even whatever form of organization, you can use the suggestion that you said, all right, just link up with the Britain every third, whatever, or, something that is realistic. Start where you are, just seeing a comment. As a
Right.
matter of fact, everybody who have a foundation, just drop them in the chat. Just drop them.
Right.
Everybody have something even close to a foundation. Just drop in the chat. Even for your personal page, just drop in the chat. Yeah, man, and what this very foundation, We Touch One Heart Foundation, was formed by a youth parliamentarian herself, right? And here we are now, you and I in an interview, telling other youth that listen, you can do the same.
Right, but you have something going too, so I think it's only fitting for you to say it.
It's
Come on. It's
yeah.
trying to be
Who
all
wanted
modest.
the interview? Who is doing the interview? Who's doing the interview? Yeah, man. Just remember to follow Separate to Elevate, and even that I form Separate to Elevate.
I love it.
Because there are so many persons actually giving away stuff, right? We Jamaican are short of that, but there are not many persons actually going in and speaking to the youth. As you said, even in your own space, not many persons are exposed.
Right.
Who are the persons going in and exposing them? And pretty much that was the basis that Separate Elevate and other youth organizations that I know was formed. So that's why I have to big up We Touch One Heart Foundation for even these
Right.
forums like this. And trust me, this is a fitting end. This is a fitting season finale. Not the end, it's season finale. Because we'll be back. We surely will be back. And I can't reiterate, all them interview here over YouTube. You can't be on this live and not be following the Instagram page, We Touch One Heart Foundation.
Right.
And Tia, tell us how, before you tell us how we can reach you, tell us how we can assist your organization. If it's something that
It is open. It is open because I'm actually, and this is an open plea, I have, as I said before, it is geared towards at risk. So I'm looking persons who are patient, persons who are going to it takes time. And so if we can adopt at least one of my participants, that would be good. Some of the cases are very delicate, but we can talk off the air. You can message me on my Instagram page at Tia Ferguson JA. Currently, I had 11 persons, but now I have like 5 that I'm constantly doing because it's a lot. As I said, some of the cases are pretty delicate, and the truth be told, I think a lot of us, with a little help, I was never this person. Persons saw my leadership capabilities. Persons told me that you have so much to offer, and I will not sit by and allow you to waste it. And so I took it upon myself because I am a product of people working me up to where I am now.
Right.
And I believe that once you reach to a stage, you have to bring somebody along with you. That's the whole point of moving up. Because if that's not being done, it means therefore that there's going to be a disconnect. It means that all the work that you are doing, there's not going to be a continuation of it. And once there's not a continuation of it, we're going to be running into challenges. It would mean that everything that we're doing makes no sense. It makes no sense, absolutely no sense. And what I'm going to tell you though, as it relates to youth volunteerism, in closing, it's a sacrifice. And because it's a sacrifice, sometimes it's going to mean that you will have to give up some of the things that you love temporarily. I know we're in a society where we glorify instant gratification. So I want all the praises now, and I want to be acknowledged now, and I want to be promoted now, and I want to do this now. And why my Instagram followers are not going up? Because I'm doing all that. No.
Yeah, touch on the hot topic them here, man.
Right. Right. We have to get comfortable and we have to get used to knowing that the seed that we're planting today, when it bears, it will give us a tree that our children's children, because that's my whole plan. If I'm not recognized now, that is fine. But you see, my grandchildren, when they come, what I want from them is that they will never have to fight it and dig it out the rut like I had to do that I'm doing now. Some people say it's luck. I don't think it is luck. I would have to make a lot of sacrifices. People say to me, sometimes, why you don't post this or why you don't post that? Because I have an expectation. With great power comes great responsibility. And I'm not going to say I'm powerful, but I'm going to say there's an expectation of a young woman, a budding politician maybe, or a professional woman. There's an expectation. And because there's an expectation, I have to know that it comes with a lot of responsibility. So I cannot do the things that a lot of persons do and will be able to get away with it. Because guess what? One, there are persons looking out to me as their source of inspiration, not only that. But even if they don't, I am also responsible for a lot of the young persons that will follow me and are following me. And as I said, with all my youths right here, you have to be careful of the content that you put out. I'm just taking the opportunity to say that you have to be careful of the things that you're posting and how you act in public. Mind you, you're still human and you're going to enjoy your youthful exuberance. But at the same time, it cannot be to the detriment of somebody else. As I said before, some people's purpose are really aligned with yours. And so we have to take that and always have it the forefront of our minds that we don't want to be a deterrent to other person's goals and dreams, because you will be held accountable for that, right?
So we can't be so selfish that we make our actions prevent someone else that is tied to our dreams, be lost by the wayside.
Right.
So if you have not learned why youth volunteerism, doesn't matter what level, is important, then just when we put you over YouTube page, just go watch it again. Because listen, in our home community or national level, not everyone is supposed to be on the forefront. Not everyone is supposed to be in parliament. And I'm only saying that because I know that there is a conception out there that it's only when you are or know a politician that you can get some of these things done. But you'd be surprised to know that most of the work that is being done in the community is not being done by them. However, you can get assistance from them. So, I mean, you just have to ask and be intentional. Put yourself out there. You never know. Yo, boy.
Never know.
Listen, man. I'm so happy that you as I just saw in the comment, that you held back nothing. Trust me. I see the comment section are going, but
my comment section freeze. I don't know what is happening.
Why, Tia, me beg the people them to comment, and trust me, they will comment. I mean, that's
my comment section is frozen.
Man, they are
is there any question in the comments though?
Why, it's a lot of comments, not questions. But if you have any questions, you can ask them. But I'm seeing that Tia held back nothing. You must learn one thing from this. Tia for Prime Minister. So much coming out of this live. Youth people take notes.
Well, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here.
A lot of persons are posting their youth foundations.
Lovely. I'm happy to be here. So I hope this has pumped up our youth people to go out there and start hitting the ground running 2022.
Right.
We're not waiting for anybody at all to give us any permission to do anything. We're inserting ourselves, and we're taking up space, and we're being consistent, and we're just going to do what we need to get done. So you don't have to be a part of any political youth organization. And let me just tell you, the Generation 2000, welcome everybody. We will we welcome our young people, vibrant, intelligent young people who wanted to come and join the movement, and who wanted to come and share with the ideas that we think we can move Jamaica forward, that we can actually move Jamaica further away from poverty to prosperity. So join the movement. It's a good movement to join.
Yeah, man. If your heart sees it fit to, be in a movement like that, then yeah, man, by all means. If not, though, you can, do what you can in your own space. Just a reminder. Right. Before you go, Tia, we have 2 giveaways. So just want you can just correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if your comment unfreeze. Right. Or as mentioned before, before we even get there, Tia, any closing words? Anything, just one thing that you would like person to leave with?
Volunteerism is important. Volunteerism builds character. Volunteerism is not about what you can get in return, but what you can really give back to other people and give back to your country. And I tell you, there's nobody that I've ever lost by giving volunteerism. And what I want my young people to be motivated about is that, as I say, I can't reiterate it enough. I think as young people, and when I talk to young people, they complain a lot about things not being right, and they complain that, oh, because you're in this space, you're getting by, or you can say this to this minister. No, that was never the case for me. I carried G2K's flag for years at university before a lot of persons knew me. How you think they knew me? I inserted myself and I worked, and when I was working, I didn't even wanted the recognition. I didn't know recognition would have came, but it did, because I knew what I wanted to accomplish, and I knew how I could have given so much of myself to this thing that I love. So it's important for you to find your passion. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. You for example, you say you want to build back a community through a lot of social intervention programs, but you don't like politics. But here, what you're going to do? You're going to get involved in politics. You're going to burn out.
Right.
That's the first thing. And then you're going to build up a form of resentment. And then the initial goal that you went into politics to try to accomplish gets lost along the way. So for me, it's identify your passion. If I could leave anything with you, identify your passion. Once you identify your passion, what you'll do is to start inserting yourself into spaces that will accommodate you to just blossom and to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. Be enough. Nothing is wrong with being enough. Being enough has never killed anybody. And be consistent. So once you start the journey, be consistent in it. Shanique is on the live, and I just want to big her up. If there's nobody else on this earth, you cannot say no to Shanique Rogers. She will not accept no. She will not accept no. It doesn't matter what. Shana, I'm very busy. Oh, we're going to put the date way down in December. You don't have any excuse. You don't have any excuse. Be consistent and don't take no for an answer. If you want it bad enough, it is yours for the taking.
Right.
So my young people, get involved in volunteerism, and don't look at it from a monetary standpoint. Money is very important, and I can assure you. But at the same time, as it relates to volunteerism, it can put you 10 years ahead than if you were getting paid to do something in the same field. So don't worry about it. Just get started, be consistent, insert yourself, and take up whole heap of space.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to say, not all your efforts need to be monetized, but just put yourself out there. Tia, it was a blessing. It is a blessing to be on another format this video. I don't know. No matter where I go, it's just always being back to a chat to you, man. Jeez, man, please.
Listen.
But trust me, it is a blessing. Every time we're in a space like this, I really do feel like we have done something.
Right.
So really, I'm not saying it only on behalf of myself, but I know that the persons in the chat as well, in the chat, would love to say thanks to Tia and express their gratitude. But yeah, man, Tia, it's really been a pleasure. But before we go, we're gonna just give away 2 things to the viewers that are still here. So you can just
No problem.
You know, if you can just correct me if any of the answers wrong. So, first question. I'm not even sure if persons are here. Let me just have an example question. Which parish is Tia from? Let me just see how many persons.
Oh, that's too easy.
I'm just testing how many persons are still here with us.
That's too easy.
I'm not giving away anything for that. We just want to see what going on in the comments. Let's see what going on in the comments. Okay. Yeah, man. People live. We're live. All right. So the first question. I'll start it off easy. First question.
So how my son end up like stuck? What kind of foolishness?
People them really mean it when them blow up the comments, man. Trust me. All right. First question. Where, like in what setting, did Tia start her volunteerism journey? Shani, please watch her on that chat, please. In what setting, what space did G2K Manchester just joined? Wow, look at that.
My family.
Right? See,
if they did, I can't soon, but big up yourself, my family.
Boy,
and if there's anyone here that is that is living in the area of Manchester, it is an awesome chapter to join. You talk about development, you talk about youth volunteerism. That's the chapter you need to be a part of. Very vibrant chapter they have going on out there.
Yeah, man, really appreciate it. All right, so Shani, you guys see the answer. I hope you're seeing it. So yes, the answer is church. So Tia started her journey in church. As I said, she's the Beyonce of youth volunteerism. You know? Next question. At the start, Tia said 3 powerful gems. Show up and take up space. Be intentional. What is the third one? Show up and take up space, be intentional, and yeah. No, it's not sacrifice. Well, she did say that, but it's not. Well, all right, so I see the answer. So yes, triple L underscore YF. Why this person's Instagram names are something else. Yeah, man. Show up, take up space, be intentional, and be consistent. Right. That looked like a copy and paste, but now I'm gonna send that. Anyway. But yeah, man, Tia, thanks so much for being here. And hopefully
it was a pleasure.
We are going to. Oh, I don't even tell them what I'm winning. So the first winner, which I assume is Andrew, will be winning a motivational shirt from Meta for Better. And our second winner will be winning $1,000 credit from Gas Smart Solutions. So we're volunteering some credit and that shirt.
Yes.
So,
and those are young people. Those are young people businesses.
I know one is. I'm not sure about the other.
The one So we need to probably give them, send me their information, and we can give them a support, some strength on our Instagram pages after this is finished, because we want to always support Brand Jamaica, and especially when it's a young person. I'm all for young people and young people, entrepreneurship and young people pushing forward in the midst of a pandemic. So everybody who is doing their thing, big up yourself and God bless. Just send the information to me.
Man, hey, you know, easy, no, man. Even when you're in, you just, why?
I'm done now. I'm done.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it was really nice having you. Remember to follow the We Touch One Heart Instagram and YouTube page, and we hope to see you when we have our next season of My Cup. Trust me. Just before you go, Tia, you can leave whenever you're ready.
No, I'm still no. I'm going to just turn off. You can go ahead.
Okay. Before we go, and I realize there are a lot of businesses and organizations here. So you can just drop your organizations in the chat. If you have a business, drop them in the chat. Allow other persons to see what you're doing. Allow other persons to give you the opportunity to support. So I say Meta for Better is there. I see La Bella's Boutique is there. I'm looking for the other businesses. Of course, G2K Manchester tuned in. You know, if you have an organization, a club, a business, Middlesex Foundation, of course, Youth of Discovery Base, Separate Elevate, Meta for Better. What else is there? I'm trying to go back up to see what's. Of course, We Touch One Heart Foundation, which you should be following already. Don't think I have to tell you that anymore. But yeah, man, if you really want to see a next season of My Cup, just drop some flames in the comments. Just drop something in the comments. Just drop some hearts, blow up the heart thing in the corner. Just do something. Yeah, man. Wonderful. Live, Love, Laugh Youth Foundation. Wonderful. Men of Strength Pieces. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for our season finale. Thank you so much. We hope to see you again. I hope that you all will get involved in your community and your country. Have a blessed night.